Now, pursuant to your conversations with the railroads, you set out to make sure that James was killed, did you not?
That is not true.
Do you deny directing your private secretary to ensure that dead or alive posters would be printed in July of 1881?
I do.
See. Let me show you Government's Exhibit 1, a reward poster that, as we've heard in this case already, was printed at the direction of Mr. Farr, your private secretary, pursuant to instructions given to him by Sheriff Johnson. Is your testimony that you did not authorize the printing of such posters?
I did authorize the printing of a poster.
Is it your testimony that you did not authorize the printing of a dead or alive poster?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, of course, Governor, just to be clear, the reason that you didn't, or at least you claim you didn't, authorize the printing of a dead or alive poster is that you have no power to authorize the killing of a fugitive without due process.
When you add without due process, I would agree with that.
Oh, you have the power to authorize the killing of fugitives?
I have the power to put out a dead or alive wanted poster for the capture or conviction of a fugitive.
A dead or alive wanted poster for the capture or conviction of a fugitive.
That's correct.
You don't find any modest contradiction in those terms?
In capturing someone with handcuffs or capturing someone by shooting them? No, I do not.
Odd. I've been given to understand that you were a person who insisted on a certain precision in the use of language. But perhaps that's someone else. Now, do you deny that Mr. Farr told you that, in fact, posters of this kind were plastered throughout Missouri?
Not only do I not deny it, he came to me 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after I had authorized the proclamation reward, and said, hey, I apologize, but it looks like we've got another reward poster out there.
A reward poster that calls for dead or alive.
That's right.
And that says that the reward is for Jesse and Frank James, dead or alive, with your name on it.
That's true.
And so, what steps did you take to advise the citizens of the state of Missouri that these essentially unconstitutional licenses to kill really weren't authorized by you, Governor?
Your Honor, I would object to that. Prosecutors making a statement of law, there's no evidence of that.
Your Honor, if I might respond.
And it's not in the form of a question.
Is there a suggestion, is it seriously suggested that the governor of this state has the right to authorize people to kill fugitives on sight? Is that the serious suggestion of counsel?
Your Honor, I object. That's not what this does. And it's not a question.
Overruled.
Now, early in 1882, the reward offer bears some fruit, does it not?
You're talking about January of 82, where we're getting the nibbles? Or are you talking about April 3 of 82, when they got Jesse James?
Well, you received word that several of James' associates were prepared to get Jesse James. They wanted the reward, correct?
In January of 82, that's correct.
Okay, and one of those people was Robert Ford, was it not?
That is correct.
Okay. And rather than leaving arrangements with this informant to trained professional law enforcement officers like Sheriff Timberlake and Captain Craig, you, the governor of Missouri, rushed to Kansas City to meet secretly with Bob Ford at a hotel. Correct?
I don't know that I rushed. I think it was there on other business, and I was but very happy to meet with Bob Ford.
Now, your testimony on direct was that you didn't direct or authorize Bob Ford to take Jesse James dead.
He explained that this was a very dangerous man and that there was a very good chance that gun play would occur. And so I understood that there was a possibility that when in getting him, someone could be seriously hurt or die.
A possibility. Well, but of course your preference was to have Jesse James captured and tried pursuant to law.
And in fact, that's what the proclamation said, $5,000 to get him, another $5,000 for a conviction.
And so, of course, you and Sheriff Timberlake and Captain Craig made detailed plans with Robert Ford about how he and those officers would work together to arrest Jesse James and to bring him in to captivity, right?
Detailed plans when he told us that all he knew is that his brother was in the gang and he thought with time he could infiltrate, that wouldn't make any sense.
Okay. Well, you arranged with Captain Timberlake, or you instructed Timberlake and Craig to work on some system of communications with Ford so that he could let you know when he was ready to make his move, right?
I don't recall any of that at that particular meeting.
And you made arrangements so that the law enforcement officers could provide backup for him as he went to seize and bring to justice this dangerous criminal, right?
I think you're not understanding how preliminary this meeting was.
I see. So your plan was that Bob Ford, that was going to single-handedly subdue and transport alive from his hideout to the waiting authorities the West's greatest desperado. That was your plan.
That is not the plan.
Okay.
The plan was to put out a reward poster for $5,000 to get people like Bob and others. This was one contact out of a many number of contacts with sheriffs and police captains across the state that I was having during this time period. It turned out that Bob, we're using hindsight to say it turned out Bob was the one who got Jesse James.
Was there anybody else from the James gang who responded to your offer of reward?
He was the only one. And he
exactly. He was an answer to a maiden's prayer, was he not?
Excuse me?
He was the answer to your every prayer. He was the answer to your entire campaign from 1880.
He turned out to be, you're correct.
Now, the truth is you went to Kansas City to hire an assassin, did you not?
No.
And you knew that Bob Ford, when you met with him, was a murderer, did you not?
I did not know that he was a murderer, but I suspected it.
Because you because you knew at the time you met with him that only a short time before, he and a guy named Dick Little had murdered Jesse James' cousin.
I did not know that to be true, but I believed it to be true.
You did indeed believe it to be true, did you not?
Yes.
So,